Welcome to the Prolific Vibes Podcast. This is Ricardo, your host, and we are on episode number 4. Big up yourself, YouTube. You don't know? Yes, and today's episode, we are going to be talking about experience over technology. Yes, you heard me right. Experience over technology. Once again, we are on episode number 4. Thank you for tuning in, guys. We appreciate you. If you're on YouTube, please share, like, subscribe. You already know. Now, I know a lot of people is going to be asking me, what do I mean when I say experience over technology? And in a nutshell, it basically means that I would rather have experience in something than going on my phone or on social media to look it up to see what it is. And that could be for a lot of things. We're talking about how to do something, how to make something, how to fix something, home remedies, things of that nature. Some stuff that a lot of us was brought up knowing from previous generation, and a lot of that is being lost in today's society. So yes, I'm going to deep dive into that. Experience over technology. Now, another way that you can say experience trumps technology is basically saying age trumps technology. They say you can learn something new every day, no matter how old you are, which I do agree. But with the arrogance and the ignorance of kids in today's society, they would differ, or they would think otherwise. Simply, they do have the technology at their fingertips, so they can see or look at for everything or anything. So they tend to think they know more, or they have access to know more. The reason why this topic came up is because I am just tired of, kids from the younger generations, I should say. Not all of them, but a majority of them, when you try to tell them something or teach them something, the first thing they say is, yeah, I know, or I see it on the internet, or someone on the internet said it, or, I could look it up myself, or that's not what I saw when I look up on the internet. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's really how that topic came up. And I just wanted to make it very clear that we have to let these kids nowadays understand and know that the experience that you get from growing and going through things definitely make an impact on the person you are or the adult that you are today. And yes, we appreciate the internet. We appreciate social media. We appreciate technology because it does enhance humanity. And we know that, medicine, a lot of things, even, just life experience and things that we do on a daily, it does make it better. We got to give thanks for all of that stuff. In life is great, and I'm going to tell you why. The point that I am right now in my life versus the person that I was, I would say 10, 15 years ago, completely different. And all of that goes for time well spent going through a lot of stuff, to say it the nice way. And for me, that was experience. And experience could have took me left, experience could have took me right. But nevertheless, it was experience. And the experience was people do me things, owe me things, did wrong by me. I could have reacted many different ways, but I choose to take the high road, and I choose to, be cordial in a lot of ways, and I choose to learn from that. And, like they say in this day and age, it's not a loss, it's a lesson. And you elevate and you advance from that. Now, the only way I could sit here and tell you that, and I'm able to say it confidently, is the fact of my experience. It's not coming from a place of, okay, if that was me, I would have dealt with it different. Or if that was me, I would have been, going to jail. Or if that was me, I probably would have been dead. It's not coming from that place. It's not coming from a malicious space. It's coming from a growth space. And it took years to get here. It took a lot of disappointments to get here. It took a lot of beaten emotional beating, mental beating to get here. And I could only give thanks, and I could only appreciate all the experiences that I've gone through. And that is why it's very important for me to, let the younger generation know that it's okay. Experience, you have to go through things, and you'll understand as you get older. And technology is great. Like I said, it enhances our lives in a lot of ways and positively make us have life a little bit easier. Especially for me, I would give a big shout out to technology when it comes to medicine, because as time passes, medicine does get better, and hopefully we'll reach a point where people are not dying from illnesses anymore. People will die every day from natural causes, but from illnesses, definitely not, because the medicine will reach where it needs to be. So, and of course there's new illnesses or new diseases that might come about. But for the world we're living in now, it wouldn't be because of illness why people would pass or people would die. So yes, appreciate technology for that. And also, if we didn't have these doctors and these nurses going through experiencing and seeing things as time passed and progressed, they wouldn't be able to have the technology or create these medicines based on technology because they have that experience. Now, I know we have people out here that's going to be asking, why am I comparing or putting experience against technology? And it's not that I am putting them against each other. I do know in a lot of ways they do go hand in hand. I do know they go hand in hand in a lot of ways. But I just wanted to make a point that the younger generation tends to think because of the phone or the piece of device they have in their hand, give them the right or the upper hand to disrespect or just disregard their elders based on things that we've gone through, and we're trying to pass on that knowledge to them. A lot of them do disregard that, and they do feel like, you're old or you're washed up and you can't tell them anything because I'm gonna do things my way because I have the information here right in front of me. So that's just what I wanted to express. That's what I wanted to point out when I say that I would take experience over technology any day. Because these kids nowadays, let me tell you, the first thing they're ready to tell you is, I don't care what you're talking about, or I don't care what you say, because that's not what I saw on TV, or that's not what I saw on my phone, or that's not what I saw on technology and social media. Shit, you heard me say technology, right? Because technically that's what they're using to fight you. That's what they're using to battle you, with years of experience and knowledge and hands-on training and hands-on experiences that you've been through when you're trying to teach them something. And I don't want to turn this podcast episode into a bashing thing or a negative thing. Like I said, everything here is for positivity and upliftment. The only thing that we don't talk about on this podcast is religion or politics, because those things to me are division. Politics and religion is division. Those are things they use to divide us as people. So you'll never hear me have any say in the matter or any point of view, or will ever have anyone on the show with any point of view when it comes to those things. And that's the most you'll probably hear me talk about those things on this podcast. So, back to the topic at hand. Technology is great. The society that we live in today is great, and a lot of people have jobs and a lot of people are surviving and are able to feed their family based on where we are with technology. And that's not where the topic is going today, and that's not what I'm trying to point across. I'm just trying to say our kids nowadays should never try to use that as a battling tool or a defense tool to take away what we've learned with the experience. And don't get me wrong, you don't have to be older or you don't have to be old to have a lot of experiences. You could have gone through a lot in your life and been through a lot in life for the first 20 years of your life. So you could have a 21-year-old that gone through a lot more than someone that's 45. We're not talking about age, we're talking about experience. So experience does trump, technology in a lot of ways, and it's not based on just age. So that's why I don't want to really target an age group. I don't want to target, say millennials or Gen Zs. I don't want to target that because that's going to just categorize and group people from an age factor. And that's not the message I'm trying to send across today. The message is technology will never outdo experience. Example, let's talk about people that can't cook. So a lot of people has actually been learning how to cook online. They'll go on their phone, they'll go on YouTube, and they'll check for cooking videos, and they'll gradually see what goes on to make a particular recipe for a type of dish they're looking for, which is great. Now, for example, you have someone that their parents have been teaching them how to cook for years. They've been in the kitchen, they know how to do their scrambled eggs, their burgers, their French fries. So they've been learning a little bit over time. They've been learning, temperature control in terms of gas or electric stove. If you should have your food on your pot on medium heat, low heat, high heat, based on what you're cooking or what you're preparing. So these are things that you've learned growing up from the generation before you and from the people before you that is teaching you these things. So if you put two people together, one that have no knowledge of cooking, and then you have one that has knowledge of cooking, and you put both of them in the kitchen, and either one never prepared a particular dish. I'm not going to say a dish. Just use your imaginations. Any dish that's from any culture. They both have never made this dish ever. One just never cooked at all. The other one made things, know how to cook, know how to prepare food, but just has never made a particular dish with a particular type of recipe. The one that cooked before, watching, let's say, a video of how to prepare that food or reading a recipe book of how to prepare that food is going to be so much comfortable, or just, it'll be a lot easier. Let's put it that way. To jump in the kitchen, prepare the dish, done and over with. Because that's coming from a place of cooking, a place of experience from cooking. Now, on the other end, you get the person that never did anything, and you put that recipe book or that video in front of them. Every step of the way, you're going to have to hold their hands. Every step of the way, they're going to need guidance. Every step of the way, based on if the book say to use a half a cup of water versus a half a cup of milk, the person that has been in the kitchen and understand the fundamentals of cooking, they know how to gauge that stuff. They can use it by just looking. They can gauge it with eye. They can know exactly what to do. The other person is actually going to have to find kitchen utensils to know exactly what that is to create that meal. And not going to say that the person with more experience in the kitchen, food will taste better, but I guarantee you the food will probably have a better presentation just by looks. You know what I mean? Because also learning how to cook and having the experience in the kitchen, you know what food's supposed to look like. You know what it's supposed to taste like in some senses, unless you never really had the food. Experience will always go a long way. And if anything, you'll learn more from your experiences. So you're just basically adding on more information and just magnifying that experience, rather than you never have an experience in anything and then just want to jump to social media or jump to an online source to get this information. Because a lot of people in this day and age, especially, let's say the younger people, a lot of the younger people, not all, they want to do things in life. They want to open a business. They want to be entrepreneurs. They're grown in this age where they've seen everyone on social media talking about being financially free, mailbox money, not working for the man, working for themselves, not doing a 9 to 5, and it's great and it's motivating. And a lot of them is filled with this information, but they don't know the first thing of executing. So what happened is they just become this library of information of know-how and know how to do, but without no execution. So execution also comes with experience, because once you have that experience of doing things and trying new things, even if it fails, that execution is already in you because you've done it before. You know what it feels like. You know how to take that next step. You know what I mean? You know how to put one foot in front of the other, rather than just sitting in your room or in your living room or around your friends and say, this is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to get this done. Because the information is at the tip of your fingertip. You know the information, but do you have the experience or around people with the experience so you can start executing? And that's the problem we have in today's society. A lot of people want to do things. Like, for example, me running this podcast and a YouTube channel. I wouldn't say I've always wanted to do it, but it's been in the back of my head to do it. And it just got to the point now where I have a lot of downtime based on my business model and things that I'm doing. So I said, no time better than the present. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to start it. And once I start it, I know my videos will be better. My audio will get better. My production will be better in terms of my videos, things of that nature, my verbiage, breath control, volume, everything is going to get better over time. But the biggest accomplishment for me is actually that I started it and I'm doing it and I'm going to continuously do it. And you know where that comes from? That comes from a place of experience. And the more I do it is the more experience I'll have to continue to do it and to be better at it. But if I had sat on my couch like a lot of people do and just keep watching YouTube videos of how to start a podcast and how to start a YouTube channel and what equipment you need, and I continuously did that for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, I would still be sitting on my couch. You wouldn't even be listening to my voice now on, whatever platform you're watching this or listening this on, realistically. So, I don't want anybody to come saying, oh, it doesn't make sense of the comparison, because it does. Because the experience is why I'm here and you're listening to me. Is because everything I've done before to get me to this point, all the failures I've had that, a lot of people won't even know, is because my execution was there to try it. And once I failed, I understood what needed to change if I wanted to continue down that path, or if it's just wrap it up and do something else. And that's the next thing. A lot of people say, oh, never quit. Failure is not an option. Absolutely is not. But in my book, failure is not an option to being successful. But a business model, if it's not working, it's not working. And if it's time to wrap it up, it's time to wrap it up. And that only comes from experience. And that comes from successful people that have the experience to know that when something is not going right, put that shit down and do something else, or get on the ball somewhere else, or just scratch it all together and restart it if you're that passionate about something. And that's where I said that experience has to come before the technology. Because I know for sure a lot of kids out there and a lot of people out there, could be younger or older than I am, because you can't judge based on the information that I'm given. They have more knowledge and more information than I probably do in terms of starting a podcast, starting a YouTube channel, equipments that I needed to use. They have way more information than me, and they're sitting on it. They are sitting on that information, but they don't have no execution to do it themselves. They want to do it, but there is no execution. They don't have the people around them, or they don't have motivation around them, or they just don't have the experience of it's okay to fail and it's okay. Just start. As long as you start, That's the most important thing. As long as you start, because guess what? Once you start, if you put that left foot in front of the right and you trip on that left foot, all right, you know what? Next time I'm going to do this, I'm going to start with my right foot. Maybe I got a better stance. But if you never start, you're just going to wonder what the hell's going to happen. So you just have to know within yourself. You have to know within yourself, like, hey, the experience that I get out of life is really what's going to make me be the man, the woman, the person that I will be, period. I'm not just going to take things for granted. I'm not going to take things face value. I'm not going to jump on my phone, my laptop, my tablet, my computer. I'm not going to do all of this and get this information and sit on it and it never become useful. So, I'm just saying, don't take information and the information actually that you're getting from technology and feel like it's a do-all end-all, because you'll still be sitting on your couch 10 years later with that information and never have no use of it. But then you'll have someone out there that grinded out, bust their ass, tried everything, fail, try again, fail, try again, kick down, start it over, stand up, walk, kick down, slide, scrapes, bumps, everything. And now 10 years later, the position they're in is a position of experience and understanding and knowing what I went through. I ain't gonna ever go through that again, because I've learned from those experiences, and I could sit here and I could tell you the not to do's, the things to do's, the turns to make, because the experience created that. So I'm saying to everyone that's listening, you could be in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, and your 50s. It doesn't matter. Whatever age. We're not talking about age. We're talking about just us as people and as humans. Do not disregard experience when it's looking at you in the face. Don't turn away from information when someone with an experience of anything is talking to you. Try to take as much information with humility, of course, if it's in something that you have passion about or something that you want to do. Because yes, you can get the information online, you could get the information from social media, but I guarantee you it will not have the effect it has as the experience that comes with whatever that information is. So take my word for what it is. Please, for us to be better people, to have a better understanding, to know more, to learn how to express and to do, attach yourself to an experience. And that's where the term experience of a lifetime comes from. Because once you have that experience, you'll never lose it. But you can see something online, on social media, and you forget it tomorrow. But once you hands-on and you touch and you feel it, and you create an experience from it, you'll never lose it. Just like me. I've done real estate, still doing real estate. Learned how to drive a manual transmission car. Managing a hotel. Working at a car dealership, selling cars, doing finance. These are all experiences that made me who I am, and I'll never forget those things. But if I was just here at home or wherever I'm at on my phone trying to figure out how to do flips, watching HGTV every day, looking at other people doing flips, by the time I turn the channel or turn the TV off, it's through the window. It never resonated in my brain. It just became something I wanted to do at the moment and never did it. But guess what? I got the experience in real estate. I have done, I would say 90% of things in real estate. Hands-on, dirty. I got bruises to prove it, scratches to prove it, lost money to prove it, made money and can prove it. And the point is, all of that came with experience. All of that came from experience. None of that wasn't just a hypothetical or a what if, because, it's the culture or it's the trend or it's what's going on right now, like everybody else seeing and doing on the internet. No, you got to make these things reality. You got to make these things experiences. You have to make these things not just something else that you saw, attach your emotions to it, and then you move on to the next thing. Because realistically, that's just going to turn you into a bum. You're just going to have all this information embedded in your head. You're going to think you're so smart or you're so gifted, and you're just waiting for money or the right opportunity to start all of these ideas and to do all of these things, and it'll never happen because you never started. You never took the time to boost your own self and your own morals and say, I'm going to just start. Just start. That's all I'm saying. Just start. You don't have, listen, I'll give you guys a quick scenario. When I was starting my clothing brand, right? First idea came to mind was the logo, and I made the logo on my own. The logo is super simple. It's a P and it's an I. My company brand is called Prolific Inc. Apparel. So it was a P and an I in a circle, right? That was my logo. I didn't want to make it complicated. I didn't want it to be a logo that's going to look better than everyone else's. I just wanted to be mine and what it made sense of. So I created the logo. First thing I did was I was putting a 12 by 12, and this is in size, inches, a 12 by 12 logo, right? 12 by 12 logo on a t-shirt, and I said, this is how I'm going to start my brand, and I'm going to sell them. Now, a year, I would say, what is it, March? Let's call it 17 months later. We're now 17 months later, and I've done so many different things. I've done drop shipping. I've done small logos, big logos. I have done vinyl. I've done sublimation. I've done printed. I've done patchwork. And it all just started from me wanting to have a merchandise brand or an apparel brand, to now I am understanding the lingo, the language, how to order, how to ship, learning about different type of material, poly cotton, cotton, jersey cotton, different textures, wool material, leather, blends. So all of that just came from the experience of now being into that environment and being into that business. So this is all I'm saying, guys. Take experience, grab it by the horn, and just do it. And get out of your phones, get out of your laptops, get out of your computers, thinking everything has to be perfect and you're going to know everything before you make the first move. Because right back to what I was saying, experience is going to trump technology any day. And people was out here being creative, being successful, making moves and making money before they could find any information or any know-how or to how to do online or social media. So let's take a step back. We do appreciate technology in many ways, but let's not just depend on it and live through it. There's ways out here to be successful and get what you want out of life from sheer experience. We all have a mind. We all have a brain. Let's just get it done, guys. All right. So thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. RV Priestley TV. RV Priestley TV. And as I say, YouTube, big up yourself. And thanks you, my listeners, for listening. And we are out. Like I always tell my peoples, positive vibes, positive thoughts gives you positive results. And that's all. Stay tuned till the next episode.
Yeah, 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 yeah.